Hello, my name is Pashupatinath. I'm the lineage authority of a very ancient school of yoga called Trilokakara, which was established by the founder of yoga, Shankarnath, 17,000 years ago. Yoga is the only antidote that I know to a big problem, a big health problem that's facing our world today, and that problem is called stress. I'm just going to hang here upside down and tell you what you need to know about stress. How does it happen? Stress happens when you try to do something that is not in your skill sets. Okay? A person who knows what he's doing doesn't get stressed. You agree with me? So the only way you're going to get stressed is if you try to do something that you don't know how to do. But we forget that we're hungry for this. We want to do things that we don't know how to do, and that's called learning, which many people have stopped since they were a kid. But that's what you used to do when you were a kid. That's how you learn things. And if you are a kid watching this, well, you're hungry for learning. Everybody is. Just like the body gets hungry for food, the mind gets hungry for learning. If you don't give your mind food, then you'll be starving, then you get violent, then you get cranky, then you do, hangry. All angry is hungry for knowledge. People are hungry plus angry because they're not getting the knowledge. They don't know how to ask for it. They don't know how to articulate it. They don't know how to ask questions. Now, the first thing you have to understand is if you want knowledge, you better ask questions. If you want learning. So how can something, a hunger for knowledge, now make you stressed? That's because you're not fulfilling that hunger. Only not fulfilling that hunger makes you stressed, not the hunger itself. So you're hungry for learning, and what are the steps that you have to do in order to learn? First of all, remember when something is moving, we cannot know that it's moving if we are moving with it. For example, the earth. Right now, the earth is spinning around at some 400 kilometers per hour or whatever. I don't know the speed, but it's spinning really fast. And it's also revolving around the sun. So there's the spinning and then there's the orbiting of the sun going on as well. Do you sense any of this movement? No, because everything around you is also moving. You don't have any reference. Movement is not an absolute sense. Movement is sensed by reference, right? You might have had this experience in a train. You're sitting and another train next to you starts moving and you think that your train is moving. This has happened, right? So that's called sensing motion. Sensing motion happens from the corner of our eyes and also from our peripheral nervous kinesthetic system, senses movement, and is always in relation to something that's still. You cannot sense movement if you don't have something still. So what is that still thing by which we sense how much we are learning or what's going on? The one thing that has to be kept still and constant is this. What? Your standards and values. You don't drop your standards and values. If you drop your standards and values, it's the end of learning, okay? So don't do that. You have to have certain established standards and values of behavior. Standards of behavior for yourself. Unless you uphold them, you will not extend that courtesy to others. For example, if you're not kind to yourself verbally, when you talk to yourself, you won't be kind to others when you talk to them. You'll end up inadvertently stepping on someone's toes or hurting their feelings and making all sorts of problems for yourself. So when you are established in a certain set of strong values, like I will not be violent to myself, I will not deprecate myself. When you establish these values for yourself, you're able to extend this to somebody else. And you won't tolerate others violating that. When somebody is mean to you or is not giving you value or respect, you will not tolerate that. You will feel free to get angry about it and make a fuss about it, right? So it's really important now that your learning has to be measured by these values. Otherwise, you don't know how much you're learning, and you don't know how much you're moving. You don't know how much you have to change, and you don't know how much where you have to go. You cannot navigate your life if you don't have a standard set of values. Here are some suggested values. Self-respect. This is something inviolable and you should always have it. Respect yourself means not to speak flippantly about yourself, not to self-deprecate, okay? It also means to deeply honor your motivations and desires, whatever they may be. To say that this is a valid desire until it's proven that this is stupid. Always consider yourself intelligent until you are proven stupid. This is kind of really important. What are the other values? Look for sustainability. Nothing can be sustainable unless the people involved, the ecosystem involved is getting a benefit out of it. Right? Till then, it's not sustainable at all. If the people around you are not getting benefit, you will suffer from insecurity. The major cause of insecurity is not being able to benefit somebody. If you're sure you're benefiting somebody, you'll never be insecure about that relationship. Have you thought about it? Please think about it deeply. If you're benefiting someone, you don't have to be afraid of that relationship going sour. You'll always have security in such a relationship. So if you're insecure about a relationship, if you're insecure about your romantic relationship, if you think your boyfriend or your girlfriend is going to go sleep with someone else, then you're not benefiting her sexually or him sexually. You know this, and that's why you're so afraid that this is going to happen. They're going to abandon you. For most people, the fear is not that their opportunity is going to go to someone else, is that they will lose the opportunity, is what is most scary to people. So you won't be insecure about losing an opportunity or a job, for example. How do you get job security? If you're valuable at your job, you'll be secure at your job. Everybody's going to tell you how valuable you are, and they're not going to piss you off because you're valuable. So value. Give value if you want security. Otherwise, forget about it. No matter what you do, you're not going to be secure if you're not going to give value to the people around you. You'll always worry about when this relationship is going to end, or when this job is going to go away, or when this source of income is going to run dry. This is going to happen to you over and over. So that is stress. How many of you are living with people you don't like? If you're living with someone you don't like, it's a great cause of stress. Somebody who doesn't respect you cannot make you secure. There's going to be insecurity all the time. Move out right away. You're not a tree. Nothing is more important. Take some action and don't be afraid, because things can only get better. You've already hit rock bottom. What can get worse than this? So sometimes all it takes is a little perspective. Look at yourself. Once you've established your values, then you have a system to navigate your life. You know what you have to learn next. Otherwise, you die. If you're not learning every day, you're going to really die. So be careful about this. All right? Great. The next thing I want to talk to you about, which creates a lot of stress, is not having options. If you have only one option to do something, then you're going to be terribly stressed about it. Have the ability to create options. Regularly come up with options again and again. Can you do that? Can you establish yourself in such knowledge that you can keep coming up with options again and again? Do you have access to such experts? Do you have access to such a network? It is through a network that we get options. We have to be kind to people and give value in some way, again and again, if you want to have any kind of options coming your way. Options cannot be created all by yourself in a room just by your thoughts. This is something I want you to understand. If you can understand this, then you're doing good. Then my upside down video is worth it. So the first thing, establish values for yourself, codes and conducts of behavior for yourself. Sit down and write down what this may be. If you're not able to do all of this, get in touch with me. This is what I do. I help you. I help you create a code of conduct. I will help you also to create and establish a plan to get where you have to get, to remove your stress, to find options, to network. So code of conduct, network, these two things are really, really important. If you don't know how to establish these, then get in touch with me. Do the course which I'm offering on moving on, and move on. Don't get stuck there. Many times you try to do things and they don't work. Remember, this is a hunger to learn. If you're struggling, sitting down there, struggling with your life, not knowing what to do next, not able to move on from what's happened, then you need knowledge. You need yoga. Okay? This is the real yoga. You don't need stretching. You don't need to go anywhere and stretch. Understand that by setting some standards of behavior, half your stress is gone. By finding options, all your stress is gone. And this has astounding effects on your health. You just balance yourself out hormonally, and you start to actually digest your food, Otherwise, you're just passing out all your food undigested. Much of the sugar is being stored as fat. You start developing insulin resistance. If you're putting on weight and you can't lose it, trust me, you're either stressed or you're having allergies or something like that. It needs to be investigated. Most of the time, the cause is stress. The root cause is stress, and then it starts off with the other things. Stress is when you cannot handle, when you've taken on a task that you don't have the knowledge to handle. Remember this. And building a network is kind of really important, because that's where all knowledge comes from. You cannot be more knowledgeable than your network. So get in touch with me on the information provided after this video, and I'll be very happy to help you establish knowledge in your life and start on a course. A 3-week course is what I have planned. It's personalized for you. Get in touch and I'll start you off on this.